I can see, we are good. Let me just double check it on the YouTube. As far as YouTube's concerned, we haven't officially started yet.
It's kind of hard. Like with my like a pure sketchbook, like definitely sketches, obviously, but it's more like a what do you call it? Like a research and development book.
Yep.
Like
seems to be bouncing around.
Oh man, I didn't even know you were writing my goals down. Now I feel really under pressure.
So let's see. I found them. All right. So my goals. So this week, basically, it's pretty simple. It was basically the bare minimum again with comics, and to be honest, now I'm thinking about it, I know I made the bare minimum. I think I definitely went over, and on Friday I clocked in 40 hours. I don't know how that's possible.
Congratulations.
No, it's actually 40 minutes, but apparently I saved it as 40 hours. But
Sounds good.
yeah, it's. I heard that's not possible in a day, but I don't know. I'll try. Anyways, let's see. So I got over the bare minimum, not by a lot, but towards the end of the week, I was able to get more time in, luckily. And that's about it, really. Oh no, I read comics. I read well, sadly, as the comic community knows, Steve Ditko passed away this week. So, rest in peace to him for sure. And so I decided to read what I think is the only original Steve Ditko comic that I own, which was Hawk and Dove 2. So I read that. And then I also read, what else did I read? I think I read some stuff on the web. I know earlier in the week I read some stuff, but I can't remember what it was. But I do remember also I read Sun Bakery by Corey, what's his last name? Corey Lewis. He's like kind of like he's buddies with like James Stokoe and Brandon Graham and stuff like that. So it's like that kind of influence or whatever, but they all have their own unique styles, but you could tell they're kind of from similar influences though, each of them. But anyways, so I was reading Sun Bakery, which is really cool. It's really exciting because it's kind of like his own personal like anthology where he just has like all these like kind of, it seems like quickly made or sketchy almost stories, and there's like in each book there's about 3 to 4 little stories, and it's another project that's reminding me a lot of the kind of stuff I'm trying to do. So it was just super inspiring and everything. So I read those comics. I did digital work. That was one of my things. And that was a really cool thing this weekend. I actually finally had time after like basically since I got my digital, the Gauman tablet. And I really just spent the whole weekend like playing with it. And it was the first time I really felt like I was like finally like playing with the new toy I got. So that was fun, and I did some cool stuff.
How did you enjoy it, man? How did you enjoy working on the tablet so heavily in comparison to traditional?
I'm really enjoying it. There are a little bit weird things where either technology gets in my way, or a little bit of that tactile feel is gone that people talk about. But then there's other things where it's like, oh man, it just makes it so much easier and quicker. Um, and like I did some thumbnails for Glyph, and I just really enjoyed making thumbnails digitally as opposed to traditionally. I feel like I was able to get my thoughts out better and more clear or whatever that way. So I don't know. I really dug that. And then I also did you might have seen. I did like this kind of digital painting of my friends from my buddy Jeremiah Dirt from Instagram.
I did. It was fantastic, man.
Yeah, and I just really it was just meant to kind of I wanted to play around with digital painting a little bit, and then I ended up going a little too far and really went kind of a little hyper realistic sort of or painterly realism. And yeah, it was a blast, and I could have kept going like all day with that, but I did have to do comics, but that was fun. So
Nice. That's good to know. Like with the how you were saying how it's a little bit less tactile than working traditionally. You can get sort of almost like a screen protector for your tablet, which actually gives it more of a gritty feel. So you actually get
mm,
that resistance almost like a paper. So it could be worth looking into that as well. If like if you still miss that over time, like you can look into that as an option.
yeah,
Yeah, I remember like I've got a through work, we got some graphics tablets in, and it actually came with like little sample ones that you could use that were developed by Wacom, and that was
yeah,
really cool. Like that was obviously something new that they've introduced, but I thought that was a really great idea for those who wanted to still feel traditional.
yeah. I've heard about that, and yeah, I just haven't really looked into it too much, but
Yeah,
for
fair enough.
sure. Actually, I didn't. I'm obviously screen sharing. I don't know if they're seeing it right now or not.
Yeah,
Still
it's
trying
coming
to.
up on my screen. Yeah,
What's that?
it's coming up on my screen.
Okay, sweet. So yeah, this is the painting piece I did, and I went really deep into the detail. I didn't obviously finish it yet, but so that was really fun. And then these are the thumbnails I was talking about, and I only got like two done so far, but I don't know. Like I was able to put like the word balloons in, and um yeah, I don't know. There's just some like reading Sun Bakery really got me thinking about making comics in kind of what the more natural way is for me instead of getting too crazy with like trying to develop the story because I've just been getting really stuck on trying to develop good stories. And I think I'm going to approach comics until I get better at it. I guess I'm going to continue to approach comics the way I used to, which is kind of more of a freestyle way where like this is literally like there's no script here. I just had kind of these two pages in my head and I just can kind of well the first page really and then I can kind of riff on each page as I go
Yeah,
and almost like in an experimental way make comics also with all that storytelling stuff like jumping around in my head too. I don't know, I feel like that's the way I need to go right now because I keep getting stuck trying to make it like the most amazing story in the world or whatever.
no, I think that's a really cool method too. Like one of my first proper comic that I published was done in exactly the same way. But I remember like I just busted out like 30 pages over the course of like a week to lay out the book, and then I was able to just put it all out on the table, literally, and sort of look at it a little bit more judgingly, and then make changes from there. But everything purely came out from that spur of the moment. I just need to get this story and ideas out of my head. So I think that's a wicked idea, man. I reckon you could really be onto something there. And if it's going to be like more productive for you and pushing more comics out, you'll learn far more doing it this way than you will trying to be a perfectionist.
Well, yeah, I mean that's the thing too is like there's that whole I don't know if you've heard it. It's been talked about many times, especially in business circles, this whole like parable or whatever of well, I guess it was a real thing, but they did like this experiment of people making like pottery or whatever, and they took one group and they said, all right, for the next 2 months or however long the period was, make the most absolutely best like amazing pot you can possibly make. Like, do your best. Just work focus on this one pot. And then they took a whole nother group and they said, don't worry about quality. Don't worry about anything too much. Just make as many pots as you can possibly make. And by far, by the end, it showed that the people who focused on the one pot trying to make it the most amazing thing, when they compared it to the other ones, the ones who made like as many as they could possibly make actually ended up making the better pots in the end, and they made more, and so
It makes so much sense.
it's yeah, so I do like that idea, and I think I'm just gonna run with it because it's what seems natural to me. So
Yeah. There's no point being precious because I think it's sort of wasting time in a way when you can, like you said, you can learn so much quicker just by trying to smash it out and being a bit less delicate. Awesome, man. Yeah, I'm keen to see sort of how productive this is going to make you.
yeah, me too, because it's been really frustrating because it's like you're rocking away on your comic, and I'm just like, man, like I know I have that in me to just like rock out pages, but it's just like not happening, and it's frustrating. And I don't mean to like exactly compare. Like I know you're already on your track with this, and you got writing and stuff and everything set up, so it's different. But it just
I get what you're saying.
it always it's like that what do you call it, the competition thing I was talking about a few episodes earlier. Like I like having that because it helps me keep know that I need to like push harder, so
Yeah, it's true too. Like when we look at others, comic work, anyone in the comic field or whatever artists that we're following, like you only ever see like 10% of what they're actually doing. And I think that's what makes this great is like for all the guys who are doing these is it becomes more real in the sense that you can actually physically hear what they're saying, like what they're doing every week. You can see that they're actually really busting their ass and working super hard when sometimes it's like you look at Mike, like you see Mike just smashing it out and you're like, oh man, like, he's just a hustler. But you also see that there are sort of struggles in between as well.
Mm-hmm.
You can sort of understand why he's hustling, or maybe there was art that he did, or anyone who like they just smashed out over the course of a year 1 or 2 comics, but when they release those comics, you'd be like, you didn't even know they were working on them for so long. You think, oh man, they just came out of the blue with this comic. That's crazy. But you don't see the behind the scenes. You don't see how much work actually went into it.
Yeah, absolutely. For sure.
I feel like I got a bit sidetracked there, but I think my point
No, I get you. That makes sense. It's so true. Let's see. So that's the only thing I didn't do was ink wash tests for the finished Moby Dick thing. I just ignored the Moby Dick commission, to be honest, which it doesn't have any timeline anyways, but I do want to get it done. But yeah, the guy, he's like not rushing me at all, so whatever. But I do want to get it done still. I think I'm definitely going to work on that this week. But yeah, I just didn't have the time. What's that?
It's obviously still on the forefront of your mind too, so it's not like you're ignoring it. You just made that decision to focus on it.
Yeah. Well, like I said, for most of the week, it was really busy. We had family stuff going on, and I just didn't have I didn't have time to like do anything extra in the beginning, and then towards the end, it's like I needed to release and just do my own thing for a little bit.
Yeah.
So, anyway, so yeah, that was my week. Yeah, I guess we'll move on to you.
Okay, man. Did you want to talk about the 5-year plan after this then, or actually sort of compare notes?
I don't know, like maybe because we're running out of time, maybe we should just get into that too.
Yeah, cool. All right, I'll just smash through quickly what I did because then we can just move on.
Cool.
Just make it easy. First thing I had on my goals was render those 4 illustrations for the children's book. I managed to smash through that. Just finished those last night. Got those to the client, and they got approved this morning. So that's wicked.
Awesome.
Finished page 19, which I did. Thank God. That was a nightmare of a page, and I'm so glad it's done. But I can't wait to show everyone because I'm really happy with it.
Nice.
The next was to lay out and pencil page 20. I didn't pencil it, but I did do the layouts. So that's ready to sort of move forward. I just need to get into that. I was meant to ink the two concepts that I've been talking about. One which you can actually see on my screen now, which I'm going to share. I kind of switched it up a bit. Rather than inking two of the concepts, I decided to just ink and color one of the concepts, which I think sort of works out as far as how much time goes into that. So I'm really happy with where it's going, and I'm just sort of doing a bit of rendering now, and hopefully by the end of the week this should be available as a print. So there's that. That was awesome. And I was meant to read comics, but I didn't. I completely failed on reading the comics, and I'm bummed about it because every day I was like, okay, I want to read some comics, and I just kept putting it off. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, of all the things, I would say that's the one that anybody should be able to get a pass on. You were productive, which is
Sort of
awesome.
like when I think of reading comics, it's a relaxation plus a research thing for me. And
Yeah.
like one thing that is like really wasn't a part of this, but I spent a ton of time listening to like some Gary V or Gary Vaynerchuk keynotes and a lot of his podcasts and that. And he's really been motivating me and like encouraging me to push forward into sort of what my business is, and it all sort of derived from the 5-year plan thing as well. I'm going to get into that a little bit more when we actually chat about it. So in that sense, like as far as research goes into my artwork, it's sort of relevant, but I mean, I probably smashed through like 10 plus hours of Gary V over the past week or so, just like listening to it at work and in the car and things like that. So
That's awesome. Yeah, I've been digging into his stuff again lately too.
yeah,
Very just super motivating, stuff.
it's weird. Like it's almost just become relevant for me again, and I'm really
Mhm.
glad about that.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it's
So
funny because you mentioned last week. You mentioned when you brought up the 5-year plan. You said because you were listening to the Jake Parker podcast or whatever, and
yeah.
I was like, that perked my ears right up. I'm like, wait, Jake Parker has a podcast
Oh wow.
with Will Terry. I didn't even know about it, so I smashed through all those since
Oh
we were
wow.
talking.
Yeah, they're really, really good.
Yeah, it's
Especially the one like why I went to your children's book. I think that's so good.
yeah, that was really good and helpful because I had I had kind of one of those on my table as well. I guess I still do, but I haven't heard anything, so I feel like it's probably not going to happen. But now I'm realizing that maybe it's better not to even mess with that. So,
Yeah, but
anyways,
like I'd much rather see you working on Glyph and Gwinsel Tinsel than working on someone else's book.
right.
So yeah, all right. Do you want to quickly go through what your goals are for this week, and then we can talk about our 5-year plan?
Sure. I don't. To be honest, I didn't like think about it that much for this week. All right, let's see. I know I'm not gonna put a time on comic work again, but I know that I'll at least get the minimum. Let's see, what could be my goals for that though? Because maybe my goal should be to have like this 8-panel grid filled out at least as far as thumbnails, which actually isn't that much, but I'll be honest, I'm not sure where to go from here, so it might be a little difficult.
I don't know. I think that's in
Um,
your hands, man. I reckon try and just smash out that comic. Just finish all your layouts. Get it ready to go.
yeah, yeah. So that'll be. I'll put that as a goal because I can't really think of much more. So, layouts for Glyph. I have a. I'm definitely going to be working on multiple comics. I think one thing I found out too was the project I was working on. the reason why I kind of jumped onto Glyph is because I'm realizing that my the other stuff that I have, as much as I like the stories, I'm not interested in drawing them. Like
Oh, wow.
there's not exciting things that I like to draw in them except for like a few little things here and there. So I think that some of those ideas, I was like really kind of frustrated with that in the beginning of the week, but then I realized, you know what, I do want to be a writer who has other artists, do work too sometimes. So I'm going to just save those kind of ideas for other artists, and see if, somebody else who's more fit to draw that kind of thing would like to do that.
That's
Maybe in
definitely
an anthology or something.
that's definitely a good realization to have, man. Like knowing that you're not the person to draw that story, even though you love the story that you've created. That's wicked.
Yeah,
It's going to free you up so much. That's awesome.
absolutely. So work on Glyph. Moby Dick, I definitely want to get some good work on that. Read Comics is going to be in there. And then I think that's going to be it for this week. I'm going to keep it simple.
Nice. I like it. All doable. I'm looking forward to seeing those layouts. Nice. All right, man. Well, for me, mine's probably going to be more of what I did last week. I've got 3 more pages left to render for the children's book. So those will be first and foremost of what I need to do. I need to do the pencils and hopefully begin the inks on page 20 for Monkey Junk because I'm definitely falling behind. I want to finish this concept that I'm working on now because it's just I'm just really enjoying it, and it'd be nice to be able to get it out as a print and have people has the option to purchase it, or at least even just be able to share it online. It'd be nice to get something a little bit different out on my social media, which would be good. The other thing, obviously, like I want to try and read some comics. Like that would be pretty neat. And the other thing I want to do is I want to record a video for my YouTube channel. I don't know if I'll edit it, but I at least want to record it. I want to get some solid footage done so I can move forward with my channel. So I've been having a few revelations with my channel at the moment, which you can actually listen to at my new podcast, which I've just started up. Yeah, so look, I'll quickly go into it. Like, I've been doing a vlog on my YouTube channel. I enjoy doing it, but to be honest, like the video content itself is super boring, and topics I'm talking about would be almost perfect material for a podcast anyway. And I found this great podcast app called Anchor, which you can just download on your phone. You can just record it, upload it from your phone, and it'll essentially set everything up for you on a free platform. And then it'll also link everything onto like iTunes, onto Spotify, and like every other thing that you can download podcasts on. It's fucking awesome.
Sweet.
You can run it through PC as well. So I think if you just check out Anchor on Google, you should be able to find it. Having that really easy option just made sense to go, okay, I'm going to scrap the vlogs now. That's it. Enough of the vlogs. I'm just going to do podcasts, and I'm going to focus all of my filming attention onto YouTube and actually doing proper tutorial videos again. But yeah, I'll talk more about it in the podcast. So if you guys want to check it out, like it's up on my social media at the moment, like on my Twitter and my Facebook. So yeah.
Link it down below, man.
Yeah, I'll chuck a link in my YouTube videos and stuff too. But yeah, I'm excited about it because I can still do the weird ranty stuff that I do. Probably a better platform for it, I reckon.
Yeah, I really enjoyed doing a podcast when I was doing it, and I look forward to seeing yours.
Yeah,
or listening to yours.
The idea for me is like I'm still just going to do it in the car while I'm like driving to work. So they're just going to be like 15-minute bursts. They're not going to be like real full-on episodes. Like it'll just give me 15 minutes to talk about the topic that I want to talk about, and then once I get to work, I just have to stop. So, I think that's going to be a really cool layout for the show.
Awesome. Yeah, that sounds great.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Let's talk about this 5-year plan, seeing as that is our topic of the video.
Yeah, man.
Go with it, man. Like, Did you finish it or?
Well, yeah, sort of. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if it's finished, but it's at a good point. But
Okay.
I feel like I need to bounce it off of you, you know. So
Yeah.
that's kind of part of it too, because basically there's a lot of stuff where I'm like, I don't really know exactly what I want it to be. So, um, so anyways, I'll just go through. I don't know if you guys can see my screen, but I have like a whole Trello board for it, or a couple
Oh,
Trello boards or
I
whatever.
should have done that.
So basically, the way I mapped it out was goals and plans for every category. So I'll just go through it quick because we are running low on time a little bit, and then maybe get a little feedback or whatever.
Yeah.
Um, so for comics, my goal, and again, like I said, I kind of didn't know because it's hard to say because I'm not on a roll with any of these things. Like I'm still trying to figure it out. If there's anything I'm more ready to know, it's comics, but some of the other things I'm not sure. But anyway, so comics, these are some of the goals. 5 stories published with outside publishers. And I'm not sure if like that's not enough or not, but like right now, the way I see people working and I see me working, it took me forever to get one like 8-page story out. So I'm trying to be a little conservative. I want way more than 5 stories published, but
Yep.
whatever. So I'm putting 5 stories published with outside publishers, meaning not just my website. 10 stories altogether. So this can be double duty with the 5 or also, stuff on my site, but at least 10 altogether in 5 years. One story must be where I'm just a writer, and another story must be where I'm just the artist because I want to try both of those. Um, and then one story in those 5 years needs to be diamond distributed. And that's a big one because none of us have really, most of us have not done that. I think Jeff Lafferty's done it. That's about all I can think of other people who've done it at the moment. But so that's kind of it seems like only one, but that's a big one. So so that would be cool. Not that that's my main goal to get distributed by Diamond, but it's just like a marker to be like, okay, I have something like out there in the real comic industry, quote unquote.
Yeah. I think it's good, man. Aim high.
Yeah. So I feel like I could aim way higher, but I'm not on a roll with any of this yet. So it's hard to really do that. So I kind of went conservative with some of this stuff.
Okay.
Um, Plan start by doing as many short stories, aiming for anthologies, including my website. So I'm just going to be focusing on short stories and I'm going to put them out there. I'm not going to focus on the results, but these are the results that I want to happen is in these goals. I don't, some totally different things could happen. I don't know, but the only way I'm going to get there is by making a bunch of short stories, and pitches. So that's the comics. I'll keep going through this real quick. YouTube goals. Now this is a big crazy one. I don't know that I can do this, but I put 100,000 subscribers or more. Um, and that's coming from somebody who took 10 years to get. I'm not even at 1,000 yet, so that's like a crazy, stupid goal. But they say to make big goals. So, and the thing is once you get things rolling, that can happen. And I feel like a lot of our friends have jumped to 10, 20, 30,000. So I feel like that jump can happen, and then let's see what we can do beyond that. I don't know if I even want to do YouTube that hardcore, so this might not end up being a thing, but whatever. I have the thing is I have ideas for what I want to do with YouTube, and if I can make those ideas happen, I feel like I could get a lot further.
Yeah.
Maybe I should shorten this down to 50,000. That actually seems like a more doable goal. So maybe I'll do that. But I want to make content that my goal is to make content that attracts readers and story consumers. Like that's not what I've done so far, really. I mean,
Oh, no,
it's
it's good.
partial.
Targeted. I like that.
What's that?
I like how targeted you are with that mindset. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's something I've been wanting to do, and and I keep trying a little bit, but it does, that's is what my YouTube channel does to a little bit of extent, but it really more attracts other creators, and that's not really what I want to do. I mean, I'm happy to do that. Like, I do love that aspect of it, and that's going to naturally happen. But I really want to focus on attracting readers and story consumers. So my plan to do that is start doing video series with like a formula, not just like this one-off like vlog type stuff or things like that. I want to do like videos that have a point and have kind of a formula, and they're like more polished. There'd be a lot less of them, but they're, I think those are the ones that are going to really gain traction. It's the one that's like ones that are like shareable and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and at least one good video a month, which is way different than what my focus has been. My focus has been in the past, make as many videos as you possibly can. And now I have like 600 videos and still, less than 1,000 subscribers. So, so that's the YouTube thing. Email list, 10,000 subscribers. I don't know. I'm at like, I think I'm at like over 1,000, but I don't remember how much over.
Awesome.
But that's like over, again, 10 or so years of having it. So, and a lot of those people might not even be comic readers. So, but I want to focus on doing that. Create a subscription. The plan: create a subscription incentive, and do a newsletter at least once a month. So that's how I'll get there, hopefully, and also like promoting it on social media.
Yeah.
Monetizing. At least 3 streams of art related regular income. 3 solid streams. Be making a living with my art, or at least very close to it, by the end of the 5 years. And have at least one of my intellectual properties working for me, kind of in a more passive income type of style.
Yes. Love that.
How I'm going to make that happen: review my goals daily, keep it at the forefront of my mind. Get all like the taxes and bank accounts and get the money in order, learn how to manage that better. And I didn't really put anything else, because it's kind of part of the other plans of the other things is kind of how I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
Illustration, make illustration a substantial income stream. I don't want this to be the focus, but I feel like comics is just not going to do it for me. So, not at first. Like, I feel like it eventually, I hope, it's a big part. But I think really the money part will come more in the illustration type stuff. So I want to make that at least one of the substantial income streams. Create some passive illustration income, meaning like throwing it on t-shirts or something, something that's a little more passive. Create the plan, create specialized illustration products, services that is somewhat easy to replicate. Like, I want to systemize this stuff. I don't want it to be like, like every piece is like, some kind of masterpiece I have to make sure I get perfect. Like, I want like to be like, this is the kind of thing I do. If you want that, come to me, type of thing. I don't want to have to try to do all these different projects that people want. Then they don't even necessarily trying to get me to do my style. They want me to do another person's style. Or like, I don't want to even get into all that like weird freelancey stuff. I want to like, this is what you come to me for, and that's what I'm going to give you, type of thing.
Yeah. Very true.
So, and systemize the best I can. And the way I'm going to attract people to that, hopefully, is create series of like specific sizes and styles. Like, so I don't know. I have ideas for that, but and then products, fun products for readers. Like, I'm trying to focus on readers. So just stuff that would be fun, more as like getting people involved, moving the community. I don't even if I make money, cool. But like, I just want to make stuff that's fun that people will like. Um, and then the plan, just give, meaning make a lot of content for people to read that people like, keep helping, getting people into the stuff, give them as much as I possibly can, before I ask them for any money or whatever. And then also ask what they want, so that way I'm targeting stuff that people actually want. So yeah, that's it.
Yeah, it's definitely not smart to just come in begging from the beginning. It's not a good business plan at all, I reckon.
What's that?
Oh, yeah, it's never really smart to just come in begging and expect people to just support you from the get-go.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So what you got, man?
Sounds really solid. Far better than mine.
Well, I just kind of tried to hit as many, like all the categories. I mean, part of it too is there's a lot of other things that could be in there, like music and this and that, animation, but I don't want to even, I want to trying to keep it focused on illustration and comics. And these are some of the ways I'm going to try to do that.
Yeah. Yeah, smart. Cool. All right, I'll get into mine and then we can discuss both of ours. Mine, like, to be honest, I didn't really get as far as I would have liked. I found that putting together this 5-year challenge for me posed a lot more questions than it did answers for me, and in what direction that I actually want to go in. And I think I'm almost at a point now where I feel like I can confidently come back into this now and put together something a little bit more solid. But like, I'll go through what I've done, and then I'll sort of explain where the problems were for me. So the way I laid it out was, I figured I should start off with what where I'm currently at, so I can actually gauge an idea of where I want to go, and essentially sort of step up each year. So the first thing I did was I just laid out what my followers were online. So Instagram, I've got just under 1,500. YouTube's just under 3,000. Facebook's just over 1,000. So that gave me an idea of where I'm at and where I need to push. And I also added in my Patreon, although I didn't really focus on that a whole lot. This sort of goes into work as well, like my current job, as well as what I want to be doing, as a freelancer or whatever in 5 years. So by this time next year, I want to have 4 issues of Monkey Junk finished, which would be 1 trade, which would be fantastic. I want to be earning up to $150 a week on passive income. Where that passive income comes from, I'm not 100% sure yet, but I have sort of little pieces sort of all over the place, and I think that'd be a really nice sort of additive to what I'm currently earning. So it'd be a nice goal to reach. I also want to grow my Instagram to 5,000 followers. My YouTube, I want to move up to 10,000. And Facebook, I want to try and hit 5,000, which I think is probably going to be the most difficult. I feel like Facebook's probably the one place I really struggle. For my second year, I want another trade of Monkey Junk, which would be absolutely fantastic. So Monkey Junk's definitely sort of on the forefront of my mind with this. Like, I just want to continue working on Monkey Junk for the next few years until we sort of see it end out. I want to be able to move down from a full-time position at my job into a part-time position, meaning that I can subsidize my income with my passive income sales. So I've increased my passive income to $300 a week. However that comes in, like that, just that's $300 I don't have to earn each week at work. That I can know that it's sort of roughly coming in, or I know that's going to fluctuate from time like that week to week, but knowing that I've got sort of some form of consistency. Also growing my followers again. So going Instagram 15,000, so bumping up another 10,000. YouTube I want to grow to 30,000, and then Facebook 12,000. Facebook I did less again because I don't feel like Facebook's going to be one that I'm going to be able to hit the mark on easily.
Mm.
Year 3, go for trade 3 of Monkey Junk, and just growing my following again. This one, YouTube, I'm trying to hit 100,000 followers. It's funny, like when you said like 100,000 is probably going to be like a real hard one. Like when I look at mine now, I'm just like, whoa, maybe I'm really over over anticipating what potential I have.
Well, I don't know, man. When you did those like really nice tutorials and stuff, um, you jumped up pretty good like right
Yeah,
away. So I think if you do
that
focus on that kind of content more, it's just gonna grow, you know. So I
yeah.
wouldn't be surprised, man.
And look, that's where I realized, yeah, that maybe I do have that potential, and it sort of set me on that focus of maybe that's the direction that I want to go in.
Hmm.
But yeah, like it just sort of keeps going up and up, and right up until year 5, I want to try and hit 1 million subscribers.
Hey,
I
there
mean,
we go.
5 years is a long time, so anything is possible. So um,
Jazza can do it. Anyone can do it.
exactly, man. And yeah, and like ideally, like the ultimate goal here is to work full time as a comic book artist. Like just whether I'm creating my own content or whether I'm creating content for other publishers or whatever, that's my main goal. Is I want to be doing comics.
Mm,
That's my end game is comic books. Um,
yeah.
the challenge that came out of this, like, and you can see, like, as I got further into further years, it really just dropped off to going, okay, I just want to do more monkey junk and get more followers, up until a point where I just want to be doing this full time. Like, it
Yeah.
really got to a point where, like, these are sort of the pure things that are on the forefront of my mind, but they're not realistic goals without having a bit more direction. And it made me wonder whether I want to be an artist purely, or whether I wanted to be more of a content creator. And I've been thinking so much more about it recently, and like this is why I've looked in, like why I'm starting the podcast, and while I'm looking at doing like the extra how-to videos and everything, um, it's got me thinking that I enjoy doing videos just as much as I do illustrating, and they're the two things that I want to be doing the most. And I want to focus equal time to both of those things. So I'm going to be going back into my 5 year plan this week and finishing it off. So I do want to add that into my list, my goals for this week. Um, but yeah, it's made me realize that, and this also comes a lot from like listening to Gary Vee and listening to the guys on the 3 Point Perspective podcast, that I'm more interested in creating content to help people. I love the notion of creating free content to teach people how to do the things I enjoy doing. And the fact that we have social media out in the world, which um, can essentially allow me to earn an income by offering something for free, growing a fan base for just, it seems like, say, looking at Jazza, he's a great example for it. He offers so much free content, and I believe he does have a bit of a paywall on some things, and I think that's a direction that I really want to go in. Finding, and you actually said it yourself, like you want to look at ways that you can create content that you can sell, that you don't have to constantly doing like a polished finished piece of art. You can do something that you can sell to people which will help them, whether it's going to be like maybe digital brush sets, or whether it's going to be
Mm,
like digital assets that they can use for their comic books, you know, whether you do background assets, or you know, you can do like a whole series of trees that are Photoshop files and people can download those trees, and there you go, they've got trees that they can use. Everything like that is what I want to do as well. Um, and it's even got me thinking a little bit further about how I could actually create maybe even a website which would allow, almost like Gumtree, but purely for creators who just want to give illustrative assets to other people. So it's
mm,
almost like a mixture of Gumtree and Shutterstock, where you know um, you can just download assets. You can just search for tree illustrations, and you'll find a shit ton of tree illustrations, and you can use them. You know, really targeted to the illustration market. You know, and like that. This is me, like the ideas that have been spitballing in my head. So, like, I think I want to move into, yeah, I really want to move into content creation, and now I need to focus on that within my 5-year plan. So I'm so glad we did it because it really excited me. It really has given me I don't think I ever had a real direction before this point. I knew that I wanted to do things that I enjoyed doing, like art. Like, but all I really knew was I wanted to be an artist. Like, I just wanted to do art full time. I didn't realize exactly what the true goal was, and now I feel like I have I've got a clear vision now, which is so fucking awesome.
It is, man, and I'm actually really inspired by looking at yours. And I feel the same way. Like, I think I really like yours because it's a lot more simple than than mine. Mine's never simple. Anything I do is never simple. But I think yours is a really good plan, and I think it's gonna work. And I don't know. I'm really excited to see you like kill it with this, monkey junk, and I think you have a really good mindset for doing the YouTube videos and stuff like you're saying, and creating stuff that helps creators and stuff. And that's definitely a path that's obviously working for a decent amount of people. So I think it's definitely a worthwhile goal. And I'm super excited, and I'm really glad you brought this up to do the 5-year plan, because I've shied away from the 5-year plan ever since I first heard it, like 20 and a half years ago or something. I don't know, like a long time ago. I just never wanted to touch it, and I'm glad you brought it up. And I feel the same way. Like, as I was doing it, I got really excited. I felt like I actually have like something to shoot for, as opposed to just shooting into the void, trying to make it work.
It's so easy to float and just feel like you're accomplishing things. And then, every 5 years you sort of look back and you're like, yeah, but I'm way further than I was 5 years ago. But when you don't have a solid plan, like, you'll want to hustle a little bit harder because you've got a designated goal. Like, when you go to work every day, like, your goal is to work as hard as you possibly can to make the day go quickly, get everything done correctly, so you can go home. Like, that's your end goal, is to, get through the day without, the boss telling you off, and make sure you do your job properly, and, feel accomplished by that. And then the reward, you get to go home and be with your family or whatever. Every day, like, without sort of realizing it, you're pushing towards some form of goal, and that's a motivator. Now I feel like I've got the best motivator,
I think maybe because you were talking about, like, you want to, like, kind of revisit it too. And I think maybe a good thing, we can come back to this another time as well, maybe even next week, I don't know. But I'm thinking there's two obvious things that we can both kind of do to kind of help our 5-year plan along. One of them is like what you did that I didn't do, which is break it down by year. So I think I'm going to take what I have right now and then break it down by year. And the one thing that I did that you didn't do was you mapped out your goals, but you didn't map out the plan to get there. So I think if, like, you do that and I do this, like, I feel like that would solidify both of our 5-year plans a little more.
Yeah. And I think, like, that sort of what you just said is perfect, because that's where my big struggle was, mapping out the. I couldn't map out a plan because I didn't know what the plan was. I didn't know what the ultimate goal was, or at least I didn't feel confident in what my ultimate goal was. Whereas now I do. Yeah, awesome. I'm just writing it down now because I know I'll forget. Yes.
Cool.
I'm actually I'm planning, like, having done this, and once I actually finish my 5-year plan, that's actually the video I want to be recording this week, is how to create a 5-year plan, because I struggled so much. Like, it was really difficult for me to do this. Like, I was pulling my hair out Googling how do you make a 5-year plan, and I realized, like, no one could really tell me how to do it. Like, everyone was just like, this is why you should do it, but, like, didn't really give me sort of a clear instruction of, like, a way to do it. And I feel like that content that's part of the goal, is to create the content. So why not start there?
There you go. That's awesome.
So yeah, yeah, cool, awesome. I like it.
Me too.
I'm so glad we did this 5-year plan. It's going to be very exciting.
Exactly. And anybody out there who's listening or watching, you know, I'd love to see you guys do videos or share, you know, in a comment somewhere or whatever, like what your 5-year plan is. I'd be happy to check it out. And I don't know, like I think it's something maybe we all should do, because it's definitely benefited me and Chris in ways that I think we both didn't expect. So
Yeah. Oh yeah. This is the roll-on effect from where we were to now, like from last week to now, is just insane. Like my motivation is insane. I'm actually noticing my personality is different as well.
really,
Yeah, like I just feel so much more outgoing and excited, and I'm invigorated to do all this stuff again. Like I feel like where I was before I started my full-time job, pretty much.
that's
Like
awesome.
it feels real again. Like the dream feels real.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah. So yeah, and yeah, it's all a credit to you as well, man, for like saying, "Hey, let's do this check-in thing." Like I didn't know how far this was going to go, and here we are. So
Yeah, and 5 years from now, when we're doing the check-in, we'll let you know if we successfully did any of these things.
yeah, I think like if we're still doing this a year from now, I think that's a perfect episode that we should do. Sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
To go.
Actually, we should mark down the date. It's the beginning of July, at least, 2018.
Yeah. Well, that's how I've planned mine out, because for me that's the beginning of the new financial year. So I figured that makes the most sense as well.
Cool.
Yeah. Awesome, man.
All right, I gotta rush out pretty soon here. So
yeah, I thought that might be the case. Tico, all right. Is there anything you wanted to say before you jet?
well, just the typical sign out things. You guys can find me on YouTube at, I don't know, the link will be in the show notes. It's like Complex Locust and it's spelled weird, but and then you can find me almost everywhere at Marshall Lee _ DJP. Wait, Jockey Jaw Projects, DJP. Especially Instagram. That's where I've been focusing a lot of my time and energy. So that, that's where you can find me, but also just donkeyjawprojects.com. And yeah, I'm just really excited about this, and yeah, let's do it.
Yeah. All right. Well, to wrap things up, you guys are already on my channel, so you guys know where to find me. If you just stumbled across this by accident, you can hit that subscribe button below, because I am planning on creating mad content for you guys. So don't miss out on that. And if you want to catch me online, you can definitely peep me at Chris McQuinlan Art on Instagram, on Facebook. You can also catch my podcast, which is called the Ink Splatter Podcast. But if you search Chris McQuinlan Art, you'll possibly find that as well. And I'll put links to all that stuff down below as well. And yeah, that's it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thanks, Marsh, for another cool week of smashing out wicked art goals.
Thank you.
I hope you have a fantastic week, dude. And I will see you this time next week.
Yes, sir.
Catch y'all later.
Later.